Hello and welcome to the first broadcast of the Gray Area News on TV. The home of your favorite and free newspaper is now on TV. I am your host, Suja Salters, and I'm the account manager and the delivery person, and I do a little sales too. But enough about me. The Gray Area newspaper started in Zebulon. It is distributed in 9 eastern North Carolina towns right now. It moved to Rocky Mount in 2012 and even in Tarboro in 2013. We'll talk more about that later. We're also on the website at grayareanews.com. And the newspaper was started by husband and wife, Frank Watley and Kay Watley. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Frank, want to go first?
Sure. My name's Frank. Frank Watley. I'm the sales manager and co-founder of the Gray Area newspaper. And
I'm Kay Watley, and I'm co-founder, and I'm the editor of the newspaper.
Can you tell us a little bit about the history of the Gray Area newspaper?
Sure. The Gray Area started in March of 2010. I was working in radio, I was selling radio airtime, and I always thought about starting a newspaper, a small community newspaper, and talked to Kay. Kay she does computer work.
Okay.
And I asked her if she could make me a small newspaper.
Okay.
And she got on her computer, and 20 minutes later, the Gray Area was born.
Wow.
And we took it from there. That was March 1st of 2010. We started putting out the paper, and we're here Wig TV now. So it's gone pretty well.
Why the name the Gray Area? I'm out delivering, and sometimes they ask, what does that mean?
Well, the Gray Area, we come up with the name because we don't want to be classified as a left newspaper or a right newspaper. We want to be right in the middle. We want positive feedback. We want positive stories in our newspaper.
Okay.
And that's the reason we went with the Gray Area.
Okay.
Yeah, not too far left or right or wrong or anything like that. Just kind of right in the center, and of course printed in gray too. So
Yeah, yeah, we keep it like that for a purpose. We want to keep everything black and white and gray, and but that's the reason we came up with the Gray Area.
Okay. Kay, I didn't let you introduce yourself. I just let Frank introduce himself. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
no, I got it.
That's good.
I'm just, as I said, I'm the editor, and
Okay.
as you know, work with you guys as you're out there doing sales, and work with authors on the back end, getting the stories together.
Okay. Okay. What other names didn't make it? What made the Gray Area say, okay, that's
Well,
it?
we thought of a couple names. One of the names we thought of was the Grassroots.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
starting from the community up,
Okay.
and that lasted about 5 minutes. We didn't pursue it for a number of reasons, but the Gray Area just seemed to stick. It fits our lifestyle. You know, we're, like I said, we got a little conspiracy theory in us. We've got a little bit of, of this and that, but we wanted to, like I said, make it right down the middle of the road. We don't want to.
And be positive.
We want to be positive, yeah. So that's. But Grassroots. Was there any other ones that we had thought of?
There's a Gray Matter,
The
things
Gray
like that.
Matter,
We kind
yeah.
of settled on gray early on, and just
They
Went
just
from-
played with
Evolved.
that.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Now, I see on the front of the paper, there's a spaceship behind it. I know you said a little conspiracy theory. I'm a big X-Files fan.
Oh, there you
so, does that have anything to do with it, or what?
No, actually, when we picked the Gray Area, what we did was we wanted a masthead that looked cool, that everybody could look at and say, hey, that's kind of cool. It has. We don't chase UFOs. We don't do any of that. We do put UFO stuff in there because we have strange and unusual news.
yeah.
But as far as the spaceship, we don't freak out on spaceships or anything like that. We just thought it was a cool thing to put in there. It looked good, and we ran with the spaceship.
Yeah, and we do want to cover the unusual, the things you won't normally see in the newspaper, like that somebody saw Bigfoot or got crop circles in their field, or
Okay.
things like
One
that.
of our first stories was on a cougar sighting.
Okay.
in one of the
Up in the mountains.
mountain towns, and we started getting calls from all over North Carolina about cougar sightings.
Okay.
And so we ran with that story for 3 or 4 issues, and it turned out that we finished it off with the big cougar in Zebulon. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's a cougar on on Gannon.
Gannon. It's about
And-
60 feet tall.
and it started, they moved it just
Okay.
about the time the paper, we started the paper, so we covered the move and all that.
Okay.
But that's the type of stuff that we wanted to put in there, and it worked well.
Okay. Since you guys settled on the gray area, what are the shades of gray? There's a little statement that you say before the shades of gray that really stands out. Everything isn't just black and white.
I'll let
Or
Kay
right and
answer that
wrong.
one.
We wanted the newspaper to be a little bit interactive, so we had this idea that we would put out situations that people might face just in day to day, dealing with issues with neighbors, with teachers, with strangers, where or odd things like finding money on the side of the road, and just give them kind of this ethical situation. Okay, now, most people don't necessarily do something that's 100% right or 100% wrong. They kind of settle on that shade of gray in the center. So it's a way to get people to have some discussions and to think about these kind of odd situations and think about how they might react, what they might do
Okay.
if something odd like this happens.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk about something like this. I see in maybe the inner part of the paper, it says things to do in NC when you're bored. That sort of stands out as opposed to just playing video games or getting
Sure.
on the computer.
Actually, I think
What is that about?
the things to do and see when you're bored is one of the best parts of our paper. What we do is we collect a bunch of happenings that are in our area. We've got 9 cities that we cover, and we take the 9 cities that we cover in the surrounding areas and we put them in the paper. If you're a young couple, or if you're a single person or an elderly person, you can go on the computer and find events, but what we do is we put them right there where you can pick up a copy of the gray area, open it up, and find out what's happening in your city and around your city in a glance. And a lot of people pick it up just for that reason, to find out what's going on over the 2 weeks that we put our paper out. And like I said, I think it's a great tool that we have that people can pick up the paper and find out what's happening.
Yeah, and we.
Kay does a lot of searching, and when you get on the computer to try and search a place, it can be frustrating. So she takes a lot of time to find out all these events. And I don't know if you've got it in your notes, we also do a feature from time to time called Things We Did in NC When We Were Bored.
Okay.
And what we'll do is we'll take the family out and we'll go to the fair. We'll go here and we'll go there, and we'll check it out. And then we'll do not really a review, but how it went, how it was, and just to back up what we're doing as putting the events out, we go to them and talk about them.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think it works pretty well.
Now, when the events are listed in the things to do when you're bored, does it have to be a free event? Does it have to be a paid event? There's a little, I guess, gray area about that.
Yeah, we try to list the free events, or the ones that at least are free to get in.
Okay.
Once you get in, you got your funnel cake or whatever going on. But we try to stick with events that don't have a cover charge to get in, or where the charge to get in is fairly low. So
Okay.
if someone's thinking of going out and doing something for the weekend and they look through the list, they're going to see things where they can pretty much walk in and check it out,
Okay.
stay if they want to, but they don't necessarily have to pay a fee for everybody to get in the door, or pay $20 a person. So we try to make it affordable and easy for them to go and get into these events.
Okay. Okay. Good things. Good things. Now, you talked about some of the things that you did in NC when you're bored. I know one of those things are the movie reviews that you guys go to.
Yeah.
I know the last one you saw was One Direction. I know they're, I think, a boy band from London.
They are, yes.
So, Frank, you and I wouldn't be fans
he didn't
of.
go.
Me and Riley, we have
Okay.
2 children, and me and Riley, we opted out on that one.
Oh,
So
okay.
Kay and Nadia got to go, and she reviewed that one.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
what we do with the reviews, it's out of the Carmike 10 in Wilson.
Okay.
And we take a movie every couple of weeks and we review it. Now Kay does the reviews, so I'll let her talk about the reviews. And
Yeah. But it's interesting. We go in and we try to take the kids, or like you said, they opted out of the One Direction, and we took our youngest daughter and a friend of hers, so we had the adult perspective on the movie and had the kids' perspective, and it's helped because everybody likes different types of movies. We've gone to some where the youngest really loved it. You know, it was a cartoon or something, and so we could say, you know, well, our 11-year-old went crazy, or our 12-year-old went crazy. And we've gone to other ones where the kids absolutely, you know, hated it. So we try to get a couple of different opinions from the different age groups every time we go out to a movie, and we haven't yet picked what we'll be going to for the next week.
Okay. So you have to hold off for that one then.
yeah.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the history in the gray area. You always have a section in there where it has a little bit about a history. How did it start? What keeps it going?
Actually, Kay started that, and she loves history. And it's not only history of buildings, but it's history of people. And she runs with that, so I'm going to let her talk about that because she spends a lot of time on it. She's the editor. I go out and,
Okay.
and I do with what we go out and we sell it, but Kay actually puts it together, and it's become really interesting. There's so much history in North Carolina that, you know, one of the things that we did was in Tarboro, it's the oldest house in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool. It was like 10 years away from the Revolution, I believe, wasn't it?
Something like that.
And it's cool to see those kind of things out there right in your own backyard.
Yeah.
And I think people pick it up and they like to read. People like to read about their own backyard. And that's kind of one of the things that we do here at the Gray Area that keeps people interested in our paper. But I'll let Kay talk about her history.
Yeah, and I do like history, and I think that in order to really figure out where you're going, you kind of have to know where you came from. And there's so many people and places that are important around here. And, you know, it's kind of like they talk about the folks that live right down the street from the Statue of Liberty, and they never went to the Statue of
Yeah.
Liberty. And there are a lot of places around here where someone could be living in Zebulon or could be living in Rocky Mount and not realize that these important things took place, or that these people who have made a difference live right in the neighborhood. And we get a lot of help from the folks in the shops where we drop off, and the other people we talk to about, you know, what's important to them. And we have, from time to time, they'll write an article and send it in and say, well, you really need to talk about this gentleman because he's really making a difference in our town. And we'll
Okay.
go out and speak with him, or they will. And so we get to know not only what happened and what's around here that's important, but also who's living in the community that's important too.
Okay. All right. That's a lot of information.
There's a lot of information to take in.
So right now we're going to go to commercial break, and we're going to come back in a few minutes.
Rocky Mount, it's Mike Keffer at Mike Keffer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on the 301 bypass between Rocky Mount and Wilson. How do you roll? We have a great selection of new Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram vehicles right here in your zip code during the summer clearance event. We offer extended service hours for our customers' convenience, 7 to 7 weekdays and 8 to 3 Saturdays, with competitive tire prices and dedicated oil change team to make it easy to do business here. Try Keffer by Keffer at 855 by Keffer or at mikekeffer.com.
Everything that makes your world hum is right here with Dax. Need it? Dax it.
The right orthopedic care can make a big difference in terms of maintaining or recapturing your quality of life.
When you come to my office, you will see me, not my assistant. When you come to our waiting room, you normally do not have to wait long. Most often you do not need a referral, and if you do, we will help you with it and we'll tell you so. If you need an appointment, we will try to get you in today or tomorrow, so we can help you when you have pain and not 3 weeks later.
You don't have to live with the pain of carpal tunnel, and you don't have to go out of town to have the latest procedure done. Dr. Bloom can take care of it with a simple incision. Relieve the pain of carpal tunnel now. Make Dr. Bloom your family's orthopedic doctor. Call Dr. Bloom at 252-937-2663.
If you need a car and you have a job, OK Loans will treat you like you're more than a credit score. Come see Jay, Kenny, and Tim, and we will have you riding today. Honda, Toyota, Chevrolet, Ford, and more. Used cars, trucks, SUVs, and minivans. It's all OK at OK Loans, where we have it all. There's a vehicle waiting for you at 1920 North Westland Boulevard, adjacent to Don Bullock in Rocky Mount. Call us today at 903-0525. When the bank says no, OK Loans says yes.
Welcome back. You're watching Gray Area TV. We're here with the founders of the paper, Frank Watley and Kay Watley. My name is Suja Salters. I'm the host. I do a little sales and all of that. We're going to talk more about the paper. We're going to talk a little bit about the strangeness. I know we touched on it a little bit with the spaceship earlier.
Sure.
Well, you go real into it with the strangeness.
The strangeness. We put that in about a year and a half ago, maybe even less than that. The strangeness is for the conspiracy theory in us.
Okay.
What it is, we do strange articles. It could be anything from the dolphins dying to Ison, the comet that's coming. We just want to touch, because we do advertise in our paper that we do strange and unusual news, so the strangeness covers the strange and unusual. And we also have a couple of writers that also contribute to the strangeness. And they cover anything from Fukushima to, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can go into the strangeness. It's one of my favorite parts because, like I said, I got a little conspiracy theory in me, and it's always good to stick a little bit of that in there.
Okay.
But that's what the strangeness
Just
is.
a little seasoning.
A little bit of salt and pepper for your daily routine.
Oh, yeah, and definitely things that you might not think could even happen, like not just the dolphin deaths and things like that have been going on, but there's a gentleman from 100-some years ago, Charles Fort, who talked about rains of fishes and rains of frogs and stuff, so we kind of have some of that kind of really unusual things that happen, red rainfall and
Wow.
just, yeah.
Yeah, you can always pick up something pretty interesting on the strangeness. So.
Okay. Something to keep you up at
Something to
night.
keep you up at night, or
Okay, I think there's one thing that you guys had when I was looking at the website, getting ready to work with you guys. And you guys do something about grow and share. And I think it started maybe in Zebulon.
it did.
Can you tell us about it? Because I've been to a few stores in Wilson, and one guy in particular really likes that. So if you can explain it to some of the people that don't know what
Okay.
it is and where it started from.
In 07, 08, when the economy crashed, we wanted to do our part. Somehow, some way, Kay said, we got to be able to do something that we can give back to the community. Now, Kay's family goes back hundreds of years, and they were farmers, and Kay's got farming in her blood. I'm a city boy. I didn't know anything about it. But what we did was we started Grow and Share. It's a nonprofit, and what it is we encourage people to grow their own vegetables
Okay.
and to share them.
Grow more than you need, give some to your neighbor, take it to a food bank. That's separate from the paper, but it's something that we,
It's a simple concept, but over the last few years, I think at our peak, we gave away 17,000 plants, garden variety plants. You get your squash and your tomatoes, and they're free. We have giveaways in April. We have 3 or 4 giveaways that we distribute the plants, and there's no charge. People can get up to 15, 16, 17 plants, and all they have to do is sign a promise to share their yield or their growing
Okay.
their tomatoes and stuff, their harvest,
Okay.
and share it with the community. And that's what Grow and Share is about. Kay, once again, this is her baby, so all I do is grab a shovel and say, where do I go?
Okay. Okay.
yeah. And this is kind of what we do when we're not at work, which is the paper, is we do the Grow and Share stuff, and there's a board that runs the charity, but we have a greenhouse where we grow a lot of the plants that are given away. And we've actually worked with one of the gardens up here in Rocky Mount this year, but we've worked with community gardens and schools and individuals all over the state.
If people like to grow and share, where can they go to contact you guys?
www.growandshare.org. We need help. We need volunteers. We need, it's a nonprofit. So that's, if you want to get in contact and you love farming, come, give us a visit on our website, and it'll point you in the right direction. But it's a good thing, and I want to say in the 7 years, and Kay's going to hate me for saying this, I think we've put at least 1 million pieces of produce out into the community over the last, since '07. And that's a lot of produce that people don't have to pay for. You don't have to go buy tomatoes. You don't have to go buy squash. And it's just a good way to self-sustain and put food on the table without having to go spend money for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
that's also why there's so many gardening articles popping up in the gray area.
Especially in the springtime. But that's Grow and Share in a nutshell.
Okay. Frank, I'm gonna leave it to you. Where do they want to go if they want to advertise in the paper? Where can they go to pick up the paper?
Okay, the gray area is distributed in well over 800 places in the 9 cities. We have Wendell, Zebulon, Bunn, Knightdale. We have actually 2 issues, or two editions. I'm sorry. That's one edition, and that's closer to Raleigh. We also have Rocky Mount. We have Tarboro, Nashville, and Sharpsburg, and Wilson. We distribute over 17,000 copies every 2 weeks. They come out every other Friday. It's a great way to get your business. We're a small business, so we cater to the small businessman. We're not looking for the big corporate McDonald's of the world. We want to make our paper a local.
We love McDonald's.
I love McDonald's. I eat there every day. We want to sustain our communities, and the best way to do it is to advertise locally, is to buy local. When we go out to shop for something, we try to stay away from the big box stores, because we want to. When I'm asking or you're asking for money from a local person, we want to help that person too, and we want to shop where they shop. So this is all about the local scene. We just revamped our website. It's www.grayareanews.com. That's GREY. Come visit us. You'll be able to see all the stuff we've talked about. I'm going to let Kay finish and say
Actually,
a
I'm
few
going
things.
to pass it off to Soja here. I do want to say thank you to the WIG TV for giving us this opportunity.
I'd also like to thank all the businesses throughout the 9 cities that we distribute in for allowing us to put the gray area in. Want to thank our readers. We have some loyal readers, and we want to thank them also.
Okay. Also on the website, any article you missed, because normally we go deliver, we pick up the old papers, we leave the new one. It's like, wait a second, I haven't read it all. You can go on the website and
Yep.
read all the articles for the past 2.5 years, am I correct? You can check it out. We're also covering local high school sports, football for this season. Check that out as well. So we're trying to touch on everything. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you later.
If you need a car and you have a job, OK Loans will treat you like you're more than a credit score. Come see Jay, Kenny, and Tim, and we will have you riding today. Honda, Toyota, Chevrolet, Ford, and more. Used cars, trucks, SUVs, and minivans. It's all OK at OK Loans, where we have it all. There's a vehicle waiting for you at 1920 North Westland Boulevard, adjacent to Don Bullock in Rocky Mount. Call us today at 903-0525. When the bank says no, OK Loans says yes.